repent. And in the because God, be your hobby, golf, looking angry. Did you hear Sister so-and-so say what she was going to do? Well, Brother so-and-so, you know how it goes. But let me just tell you something. If I can quote Pastor Brown, slick it. Do it anyway. If God's leading you to do it, stand up and do it. Right. Stand up and say, you know what? Nothing's going to stop me because God laid it on my heart. And come and join hands and say, hey, let's do this. It may be two of you. But you know what? Two can become three, and three can become four. Before you know it, this place would be on fire. This place would be the talk of Burnside, Kentucky. That's right. Because God's doing something. It breaks my heart for the church. I tell people all the time, and I'm going to wrap it up. People say, you know, what's some of your hobbies? I love to fish. I've toyed with golf. I'm not that good. Golf makes me angry. I hunt and I'm too lazy to walk through the woods. I guess nowadays you guys got four-wheelers though, and that makes it a little easier. But you know, I love shooting and doing that, but I'm not a big hunter. But one of my hobbies, I study the church. And when I say the church, I'm not talking about the church, because Christ is going to come back and get His church, and His church doesn't have a denominational tag. It's His church. And He's going to come back and get that church. But I like to look at local churches and say, what's making them tick, or what's going on there? And I'll study a lot of different churches. It's just something I do. I follow a lot of different churches on Facebook just to see what are they doing and how are they doing it. Is it working? Is it not? You know, we can learn from one another. And you not everything that one church is doing I won't do because it won't fit my church. But there may be something out there that we can tweak and take and do some things differently. But when you start looking at the church, it amazes me. It just amazes me sometimes at the attitudes that we find. I had a guy tell me one time, well, you know what? He said, I'm so hard on my people. He said, I've got them down to 6. And he said, I'm working on running those 6 off. There's something wrong with that. It's not about that. We need to love people. We need to disciple people. What would it look like at First Baptist Church if all through the week some of you guys were meeting one-on-one and just getting into God's Word and prayer? It'd be an encouragement to one another. Those are the things we're trying to get going at Grace Point. Because I know, guys, 1 hour on Sunday morning, it's great and I love it. But growth comes when we can challenge one another. Hebrews 10. Y'all not to assemble together, to stir one another, to provoke one another, to get into one another's lives and say, hey, let's live life together. Yeah, you're going to have that person that you can begin to really share with. Well, let me just share my struggle with you. You need those people in your life. You need those people in the church. You know, you need strong Sunday school classes. You know, at Grace Point, we ended up doing away with our Sunday school hour because it was literally dying. We had, you know, teachers without classes. We had classes without teachers. We couldn't get volunteers. And we said, well, let's focus our energies on that 1 hour on Sunday morning, and we'll launch our small group ministries that will try to meet in homes. And let me just tell you, that's been like pulling teeth. It's been a difficult journey at best. But what I'm seeing is those few groups we do have, I'm seeing some amazing growth in people. And I'm seeing those people on Sunday morning more excited, more committed, more willing. So guys, we've got to rally around, and we've got to take that Hebrews chapter 10 and take those verses and begin to apply those and stir one another. And don't get mad at somebody because they challenge you in an area. Take that as a challenge and say, yes, you pray for me and I'm going to do better. We got to quit wearing our feelings on our sleeves, and we got to get busy, and we got to trust God, and we got to learn to trust one another, and we got to rally around a common cause and a common purpose and a mission in the church and say, hey, we're going to rally around the gospel, and we're just going to penetrate Burnside with the gospel, or wherever you work, wherever you go to school, whatever that looks like. But we've got to get back to God's word and the gospel and just really, really, really take it to heart and say, by the grace of God, And then this call, he says, look, in chapter 3, verse 4, he says, Thou hast a few names which have not defiled their garments. That's the hope. Who is it tonight that would be that person? That you'd be willing to say, God, use me. God, use me. I'm sure your pastor needs some help. I'm sure your pastor needs some encouragement. He's my dad, and I love him dearly. I know his burden for this church. I know his heart, probably more than you think it used to look like. We've done all of that, but I told him, I said that tonight, we voted to do this. This was the easy part. The hard part is going to be making the changes necessary. Can I just share with you, it's been hard. I've watched people walk out the door and say, I'm done. People that's been there for 15 years. I thought this was what I wanted, but it's not. They were complacent, and they were willing to stay complacent. And we look at it as a pruning, and that's never easy. And guys, we need to allow God to prune our lives. And sometimes that spills over into your church life. But what He needs, and what God wants, is some people to say, let's go. Let's roll. Let's do this. Let's get serious. This is Wednesday. By Sunday, you could have a crowd this size. You could have 3 new people in this building by Sunday. I just believe it's possible. It's not for lack of. They're out there. But it's lack of desire or passion on our part. And I'm guilty. I have to force myself to do those things. I hope that I just shared something tonight that maybe sparked something in you. This church is like a second home to me. I love coming here, and you guys are great. You're such an encouragement to me. But I want to challenge you tonight, and that's what God laid on my heart. It's just talk about the church. Maybe a spark will ignite tonight in somebody. Some of you guys have come up to me this week and shared things that you've done, and it's been an encouragement to me. You know, you challenged this, and I've done it. It's great, and I love to hear those things. So my prayer is going to be this: that I hear about what you guys are doing through Him. That you get so excited that you're going to say, Pastor, let's do it. Let's do it. But it's going to take a united front. It's going to take people standing together. It's going to take people with a passion for the lost, with a vision to reach them, to make it happen. We've got a vision statement that our vision for Grace Point is to bring change to the culture inside the church and outside of the church. And what we mean by that is the culture of the church has gotten complacent. We want to see change. We want to see people get dissatisfied. We want to see people become, discontent with the current situation. We want to see people get serious about, living out the call that God's placed on every one of our lives. And then we want to see our community change because of the gospel. And everything that we decide to do or feel led to do, it's filtered through that lens. And what it does, it helps us stay focused. It helps us keep the priorities God first. Because you know what? We can't bring change to anything unless God moves. And it just kind of helps us stay on course. My prayer for you guys, I've loved this week. I'll be honest with you, there's been some tough, I felt some struggles through the week to preach. But you guys are so gracious. You guys have got what you need. Are you willing to use it? Can we pray? Father in heaven, I thank you so much